And we're going to roll in 10,
Aw.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Away with Words, the podcast. It's your girl, Bree Stories.
It's MJ and Kid.
And we're here with guests.
Woohoo! Guests are back.
So, as we continue to celebrate Women's History Month, we are here with beautiful women. I'm gonna left to right it like a book. Mm-hmm. Starting with, if you know, you know, at AjaNoAsia.
Oh,
what did we used
what's
to
up,
call
girl?
you? Ice, aka Ice,
She
aka.
called herself Ice. She called herself.
I know.
Ew.
I
But
like
since,
it.
since she's here,
Yeah.
aka Ice, aka I think it was something else.
Fat Pussy Princess.
All
Fat
right.
Pussy Princess, Aja
Those
Minaj.
who know. Hiya, boys.
I hate it.
Ew, Haya.
Not this. Not this. And we're also here with our good friend Morgan.
Morgan's here. A long
Okay.
time coming.
A long time coming, and I
Should've been on
wanted
this,
so
man.
when with you next to me, I want you to know that I wanted to call this episode. Fuck. What did I put?
Please tell me.
And now I need to know.
Yeah, and I need you to approve of it. That's all.
It's fine. Got it.
I'm getting to the point where I want to do that when I have an idea, because I can be kind of corny. You know, I like puns and stuff, but this isn't. When I thought about you, I was like, I want to name this episode "Coming for Everything."
Oh.
Because I just see you. We're gonna get all the way into
Got
it.
it.
but
I
just
love
see you.
that.
Every time I see you, I'm like, what does the girl not do?
Yeah.
You know,
Sleep.
So
Right.
I know
I
that's
don't
right.
sleep. No, I'm doing better, guys. Don't be like me. Be better than me.
I love that. So that's the name of today's episode. If you are looking at this on YouTube, please comment below what you are coming for this week. It is Monday.
Love
What is it that you're coming for this week? And I mean, we're not gonna break any ice. Tati is still on vacay.
She'll be back.
She'll be back next week. Announcements. I mean, look
They
at
know
the
what to
last
fucking
episode.
do.
I don't
Yeah.
want to have to do. I don't want to
crazy.
do this every episode.
Yeah, it's
you know what I'm saying?
ridiculous.
It's like if you don't know what to do by now, like I don't really know what to tell you.
Yeah, exactly.
But I didn't bring up money. You know, if you have some, you can give some to us. You are able to financially support this podcast on anchor.fm/Away with Words the podcast. There's like a little a money support thing. It's super easy. It's kind of set up like Patreon, where you can just be like, oh, I'm gonna sign up and give them $1 a month or whatever.
Yeah,
Every little
exactly.
bit counts, you know.
It
And if you
does.
have a sugar dad, or dad, or a mom, or a sugar mom, you know, somebody, of course, or a sugar
Sugar
they.
baby.
If you got a sugar they, whoever that you have in your
We're
life that just has
inclusive here.
expendable money just laying around,
Got it.
Put it here.
put their credit card information in the with their consent. But you know, do that too.
Love it.
Let me make sure that I'm not missing anything, or do you want to just jump into the check-in?
Yeah,
Get
we
right
can check
into it.
in. Yeah, let's
Would you like to
start with you.
I feel like we should
Yeah,
st- no,
it's you.
no, we're gonna start with you. Actually,
Okay, fine.
Get
yeah,
the
because I
cocks
think
out
all
the
the
way.
ladies should
Oh,
go back
girl.
to back.
It's definitely not a cock. Anyway.
Excuse me? You don't have a cock?
I'm not calling it a cock.
Oh,
Ew.
my God.
Cock is
Whatever.
gross. We can all agree.
We can all agree.
Cock is a certain color. I don't agree. I don't like it.
Physically, now that I put this hoodie on, I'm kind of warm. So yeah, kind of sweating.
That escalated quickly.
Right,
What is happening?
Like that little drip coming down from my hair like bridesmaids.
Drip, drip.
Oh, my
Oh,
God.
she's like, makes me not hungry at all.
Yeah,
I mean,
like-
I ain't starting.
Yeah. I love it. Emotionally, it's just constant joy, y'all. I don't know what to tell y'all. I'm just feeling on the up, and it's stuck.
Stuck.
Yeah.
Up, stuck.
What's
Sorry.
today's date? The
That's
27th.
gross. Yep.
My attention is on. I've just been getting a lot of like inquiries for work, like with
Love to hear
graduation and stuff is happening.
Yes. All of it.
Proms and stuff. And
Yeah.
just people know I know business goes up when it gets nicer out. It's another reason why
Yeah.
I'm just dying for the nice weather. So I
Yes.
can just be in the streets with this camera,
Tomorrow.
Yep. Ass out.
with the lights. Like I'm using my Ronin now, so just great videos about to be happening. Just all
Roman? It's called a Roman.
That's a new dance.
Ronin-esque.
Ronin.
We're going to make that a
Yeah.
that's a new TikTok.
I love that.
So yeah, I've just been
Yeah, we
focused.
gotta start a TikTok trend.
A lot
Roman.
I feel like a lot of money's coming in, so that's what my attention is
Yes,
on.
money.
And that's on period.
And then
Abundance.
what else is on period? Just be so corny.
Get so nervous about it.
Spiritually, I'm feeling like we're just talking and I'm listening, he's listening. Great communication.
Good.
I love that.
That's
Yeah.
good.
I love
Who's
that.
I love it.
God?
Yes, the
God.
God.
He? Got it.
Not
Capital. With a capital
Capital
H.
H.
With a capital H.
AjaNoAsia, would you like to go next?
Oh,
You're a seasoned vet.
yes. Okay. Physically, I feel loose and just relaxed.
I love loose.
Emotionally, I am feeling and experiencing the same joy that MJM Kid is. I am at just such a comfortable spot in my life right now.
That's
like
fantastic.
That's good.
so I am like I feel like I'm always pretty like happy, like, or in a upbeat mood, I guess you can say, for the most part.
Yeah.
My attention is on. I have a couple trips coming up, so
Yeah.
that's what my attention is on. I need to start really planning. I'm usually like, when I am the type of person, like, when I book a trip 6 months out, I'm like pulling out the suitcase.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm like very
Just
thirsty
throwing
like
stuff
that.
in there. Just
Yeah,
throwing
so I
stuff in
need
there.
to
Be
do
ready.
that. Yeah, I need to get ready. So that's what my attention is on. And then spiritually, I'm feeling very sensual. Like that, I have a very sensual spirit right now. That's why I got a little body roll going.
Yeah, I like a little body roll.
So yeah,
This group is so supportive. Like, oh yeah.
so that's
Here for it
my
all.
spiritual feeling right now.
I love that AjaNoAsia. Morgan, would you like to go next, or would you like me to go?
I can go
I love
because
it.
I'm in my mind trying to remember what the heck you just said,
I
so
love
it's
it.
fine. Physical.
Yeah.
Yes.
Honestly, I feel like I'm starting to feel like me again. I don't know about you all, like, even though,
me season.
and I'm sure we'll get into it.
Yeah.
Yes, this
Yes.
is what I do and blah, blah, blah. But I tell people, I don't care if you an expert and non-expert, you are a human first.
Yeah.
And I am a human first. So even though I often know what to do, doesn't mean that I always want to do it. So,
Right.
but finally, I feel like when you just find your flow, like
I love that.
the physical flow that just makes you feel good. It doesn't have to be hitting the gym every day. It can be sometimes doing nothing and you just feel amazing. So I think for me, I'm just feeling more like myself. What's next? Emotionally.
Yeah.
Woo, baby. I'm gonna start singing Vivian Green. I'm on it.
Yes, I knew that.
Yeah.
Roller coaster.
I wasn't gonna harmonize with them because they're the singers and I am not.
We are the
No,
singers.
but I was. Vicky sent me. Shout out to Vicky. She's my best
Shout out
friend.
to VP.
She sent me Victoria. Let's get it right.
Victoria.
But she sent me this thing, and it was talking about how this guy. He was talking about how he was like, man, I hate how I have these extreme highs. And I feel so, when I'm high, I am like high. Life is phenomenal. But when it is low, it is like low. And I don't want to be so extreme. And he was saying, his therapist was talking about how, have you ever watched somebody in the hospital on a heart rate monitor? And the heart rate monitor
Yes,
goes
I've
up
seen this.
and down,
Yes.
up
Yes.
and down. And when it flatlines, it means you're dead.
Yes.
Right.
So
Did Jeremy Pope say
you
that?
get to feel the highs and you get to feel the lows. And I was like, that's how I feel,
Yeah.
Jesus.
I love
It was
that.
It's been the highs are like, there's some great things happening in my life right now that I'm so grateful. Trying not to have imposter syndrome about and all the things.
Talk
We'll get in
about
that
that.
too. And then when the lows hit, it's like, but where the hell did you come from? And we were here. So that's where I'm emotionally. My attention right now, my word is expansion. And expansion, not even just in business, but like in life. Like expanding my capacity to hold for more, to be more, to have more in my life, expansion for love, all of the things. So just opening up my container to be like, all right, I'm in a receiving position to take it off. I feel like I'm missing something. Spiritually, I feel really grounded.
Yeah.
I feel in a really good, like I'm here. Like, almost like, this is what it is. Something bad happens, it's fine. It is what it is. Something great happens, it is what it is.
I love that.
This is where I am.
I love that.
Yeah.
Before I even check in, I want to say thank you for the word that you just said. You said that you are human first, and that is something that I desperately needed to hear. I think that I am a person with the kind of work that I put out and the way that I portray myself, I often put a lot of pressure on myself. Like, if someone came to you with this issue, you would know exactly what to say. You would know how to advise them, and why is it so difficult when I have the tools and the resources, and I know. But that is such a beautiful mantra to come back to myself, that I am a human first, and I owe myself grace.
Facts.
In those moments. So thank you for that.
Yes.
Physically, I'm feeling, I think loose is a good word. I also feel loose. I feel limber. I feel like.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
I feel like I kind of want to dance. I think.
Get up and do it. Do it.
Someone get up and do it.
I was about to beat for you, but I can't beat it all.
I mean, like in a space.
No, I get you.
You know, like this feeling.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, when you're just like in a crowded space.
Yeah.
Sans COVID-19. But you're just in a space and you're just like, everybody's around. And you just, this is very white girl. Like, at the club doing this. But like, that's kind of how I feel.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm calling that in. Well, however God packages that. I don't know. However that may come. Maybe it's not at a club dancing, but like, I just want this.
Right.
I desire
Had
this.
it.
That's like white girl on ecstasy in the
It
middle
is.
of a club.
And you know
Yeah.
I love ecstasy.
You know I love ecstasy.
Emotionally, I am feeling. Emotionally, I'm feeling joy. I'm feeling very
that's good.
joyous.
Yeah.
And I keep saying that I'm trying to stop trying because just let it go.
Yes.
You know, just surrender, just be. Because I was just about to say I'm trying to stay there. I'm feeling joy and I'm trying to stay there, but I'm open.
Yeah.
My attention is currently on. My attention is currently on. I'm right where I am. I'm right here.
Yeah,
I
that's
can,
good.
I can feel my feet on the ground. I'm right here. I'm present.
I can feel mine too.
Yeah, it feels nice.
I'm short, so mine don't.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, you can do this though right here. Spiritually, I am feeling. Somebody on TikTok, shout out to TikTok. Shout out to TikTok University / TikTok Tabernacle. Because people be on there preaching. But this woman on TikTok said that you, like, being in the waiting room, like, you've never been in a waiting room fearing that you wouldn't get in. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might be in your waiting period.
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
Trying to get Beyonce tickets.
But you know,
Right. Don't go down that hole.
Please.
We got our tickets, so let's just leave
they
it
are
there.
secured. But God, what a day. But yeah, like, you've never been in a waiting room thinking like, oh, am I gonna get in? Like, you're here. You've arrived.
Yeah, it's true.
Just relax. And
Yeah.
I feel like that's the word that is coming to me right now.
That is
good.
a
I
really
like
good
it.
word because I struggle with like patience. So waiting is a big deal for me. So I'm in the waiting room, guy. Yeah.
Period.
Come on.
I'm gonna sit
guess I'm here.
down or pick up a magazine, I guess. So
And know that they're gonna call your number.
Yeah,
Ooh.
for sure.
They are calling it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I love that. Okay, so many things, so many directions. So first of all, hashtag coming for everything.
Yes.
So
I need a
maybe
shirt.
let's start with okay, period. Let me
Yeah, sorry.
5%.
Let me tack your word.
No.
Got you.
Let's maybe start with just like a little rundown. What's Morgan up to? What are the priorities? What are the highlights?
Man, there is a lot happening right now, in a good way.
Yes.
And honestly, it's so crazy that you said that, like, coming for everything, because I literally feel like I was talking to somebody the other day. I'm such a, I talk in, like, not euphemism is not the word, but I was telling somebody the other day, I was like, I feel like I've been in my plie season for a minute. Like, anybody that's a dancer, the plie is the bend.
Yeah.
So, like, you work on your bend, the proper bend, the deeper the bend, the higher the jump, the more you do it well, it's whatever.
Oh, wow.
And I feel like I've been in my plie season long enough, and it's time to stop plieing and just move. And there's something really beautiful about the jump, because when you jump, things start to happen. So right now, Live and Believe Wellness, shout out to the lab on 95th Street. is just thriving, and it's like in a different way. Like, yes, you know, it was so great finally coming out of the pandemic season. I am a connection person.
Yeah.
So not having to be like with my people and connection was just like, it was awful for me, because that's what my whole life and business and purpose and passion has always been built on. So the lab has been thriving, and not even just thriving because there's so many people coming in, but thriving because people are changing. Like literally this woman, she messaged me the other day and she was like, I'm a teacher and I'm just a better teacher because I come there. Like I come there and I let loose, and she wears a crop top in class, and she's like just all of her. And she was like, and so when I go to school, not that she's wearing a crop top, but but she was like, I just own who I am differently. You know what I mean? And so Live and Believe, nutrition, wellness, fitness, all of that is going phenomenally. We're expanding into, we're partnered with After School Matters right now.
Oh, I love that.
So we're doing after school programming with another phenomenal organization called Creative Network.
Nice.
They do house music, dancing, Chicago footwork, all these different things. So we're literally teaching kids like movement, yoga, meditation, journal, releasing, like all of this stuff.
So helpful.
We are expanding our online, so all of our transformation programs that we, even though yes, men can be in it, but it's just there's something about women. Like we just need each other, right?
Yeah.
We need to know that like you can still be you, and you didn't work out this morning and your life is gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Like you need to know that you may be feeling a little bloated today and life is going to be fine. You need to know that your kids may be running around like crazy, whatever. But if you can just find a moment to sit down in a corner, like we got you. So all of those things are sprouting, and it's just been a good season.
I love
a
that.
good season.
I want to ask about something that you didn't bring up. So I'm wondering if I'm allowed to.
Well, we're here now.
I'm hearing we're amongst an actress.
Yes.
An actor.
Yeah.
A thespian, perhaps. What's going on with that?
Yes, so I filmed. It's been a ongoing project for different things, but we're finally in the wrapped up season called Love Goes. It's a web series that I was so grateful to be a part of. And for me, it was, man, I'm about to get emotional. I didn't even know I was going to come.
I love that. It's welcome.
So acting and that part of my life was something that, to be really honest with you, I didn't even know if I was ever going to really bring it back in. I didn't know where it fit. I didn't know if maybe my season had passed in it. Like, I just didn't really know. And for me, especially because my brother, who passed unexpectedly at the age of 25, he was a director, film. So that was our thing. He was behind the camera, I was in front. He was behind, I was in front. And so when you start going to other things of your life, you're like, that's that thing I used to do. Like, that's that gift. Like, I know I could pull it out. And so when this project came, I remember being like, how the hell am I supposed to do this when I run a whole business with a whole bunch of people? And I read the script and I just fell in love. Shout out to Maurice Dorch and Toya, and I'm going to forget names, so I'm not going to start to name people, and Axel, and just this phenomenal, well-written Black love story that just got my heart. And then, you know, you get in it, and so we've been filming. They're in the editing season right now, so hopefully should be coming out very, very soon on multiple different platforms. So I can't say much about that piece.
Yes. I love that. That's
amazing.
Aja, what are you coming for in this season?
I don't know. I am a lifetime student. I am always learning. And this is also like a fault of mine. I'll see something and be like, oh, that looks like something I'm interested in. I'm gonna go take a course for it. And it's just like sometimes you just need to appreciate the stuff that you're like seeing. I am in a space where I am learning what in my career, and not just things that I am passionate about. And so that's why I'm trying to like put things on the back burner. Like people know that I'm a doula and things like that, and that's still important to me, but it's on the back burner. So I'm like really coming for growth in my career. For those of you who don't know, I'm a behavior analyst. I work with children on the autism spectrum, and I am really just growing my craft, being a better BCBA, being a better advocate for Black and brown children who need services, who are often looked over for services because they don't have the funding and the resources.
Right.
So I am coming for equity in that.
Ooh.
Let's go.
And I am coming for just being a better me all around. And that is encompassed in being a better BCBA for sure.
Yes.
Definitely.
Come for it.
I'm gonna cry.
Girl.
I know.
So emotional today. What's
I know.
happening?
It's great.
It's not today. It's
all the time. Okay, it's fine.
But I just want to say to you, Aja, that I'm so proud of you, and I've known you for a long time. And the way that you talk about the space that you're in now, it's such a groundedness in the way that you speak. And I think that there have been spaces where it's like, oh, I don't know. You know those spaces where you're like, I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what I should do. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And the way that you talk about the space that you're in now is so grounded, and it's so important to have people like that. I think that we live in a society where a lot of us are in survival mode.
Facts.
So we put people in these positions, teachers and people who are here to advocate for our children, who don't have the capacity or the passion or the purpose for it. So to hear someone in that space be so grounded and so sure, it's like, that's who we need. That's who kids need. That is what's going to create more thriving and less surviving in our community.
And I think it took a while for me to get there. Like, I always knew that I was good with kids, and being around, like, all of my friends are creative. They sing, they write, they dance, they take photographs, they do videos. So I would always be like, well, what's my talent? What am I good at? And I had to be like, girl, you're good with kids. Like, that's my creative
there's
like,
that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it took me a while to really figure that out. And then when figuring that out, okay, now how do I utilize this to my benefit and to benefit others around me? So it's been a long time coming, but I'm here and I'm gonna keep going. So
I love
that's
that.
what I'm
Go
looking
ahead,
for.
girl.
I love
Morgan,
that.
you were saying like it's something about women, and this is like that. This is what this feels like. It's just like having a community of Black women. I was actually just listening. Y'all know, shout out to Shan Booty.
Yeah, definitely.
Shan Boudram, we love her here. And she had an episode of her podcast a couple of weeks ago where she was being very open and vulnerable about her lack of just friends. And I was listening to it, and I had a partner in the past who talked to me about, you know, his lack of just friendships. And I don't want to sound like, elitist is not the word, but in this, you know, like I'm in a higher level of but that is something that I'm like, wow, I am so thankful to not relate to such a thing. And I've never lacked not only good friendships, but like good community with Black women specifically, like outside of just my mother and like my family unit and the Black girls that I was a Black girl with, and coming up with them, and you know, like Aja and Drea P, like people who I was like a Black kid around. And now it's like we're just here just being our own version of Black women, and I'm so thankful to be in a space where I can see there's no cookie cutter.
No.
I see
and
it
real
so many
genuine.
ways.
I was just telling somebody like, I don't need a yes friend.
Never.
Like, I don't need the friend that's gonna be like, yes, girl, you got, like, no, I need the friend that's gonna see me when I can't see myself.
Ooh,
I need the friend that knows when I say that I'm fine, I'm really not. You need the friends that are gonna like hold you down in all areas. And the real, I tell you, like, you don't know, real friendships come out of adversity. When you can go, some of my closest friends, like, we have had like those real conversations, and when you can get through on the other side of those, that's when you're like, oh, she really loves me for real. Like, that's real. Like, that's real, because some people won't be able to bounce back from that or come out of it, but because you know it's coming from a place of like, she really, really has my best interests at heart. You may not always like it, and I may roll my eyes at you, but you take it because you know it's real and you need that. You need that.
So
I have an outline in our podcast notes thing right now for an episode that I want to do just about like friendship wellness, and it's something that's been coming into my my cipher a lot. I've been hearing a lot of conversation where people are. We live in a world that glorifies like romantic relationships, even down to like the way that our government is set up. The fact that single people have to like pay more because they don't have a spouse or children. You know, like things like it's like there are so many things that are kind of like working against the idea of singledom, and makes us feel alone in a space where we're not really alone. These people who have rich relationships with their friends and their
Yeah.
peers and their family. And I think that it's really important for us to talk about that in the same way and hold it at the same height as we hold romantic relationships. We see podcasts and gurus and all of these people telling like, oh, how to find your partner, how to keep your partner, how to do this. If it's just like, it's so much to be said about these friendships and so much that
different
we learn.
relationships outside of just romantic.
So much that we learn in these types of connections that aid us in every connection that we have, you know. I think that that's something that's really important. I can't wait to kind of read more and learn more and talk more about that.
I like
for sure.
Yeah, for me, friendships are like super important because I don't have family. So like, it literally, my mom is the only child, and my dad has like family, but I'm not close with them.
Right.
So
Yeah.
my friendships mean the world to me. Like,
Everything.
I'm ready to go to war for my friendships. Like. And my friends' parents like mean a lot to me. Like, I don't play about Michael's parents. I don't play about Drea P's parents. Like, it's really like, I'll send it up over my friends.
Yeah.
So that,
Kim know what's good.
Yeah.
Come for it.
But that's what I think is so important.
Yeah.
And it's like when we really sit and reflect on it, we know that we have those things, but we live in such a world that tells us that we are without if we don't have, you know, these romantic spaces. So I definitely want to make sure that we like talk more about that. And shout out to the podcast Getting Grown. That was the first podcast that I heard where they talk. I've never heard someone talk about the fact that single people have to pay more money in this country when it comes to taxes and things like simply because I don't have a husband, girl. What the fuck? Like, why are y'all Jeffy's talking about sorry. But like
talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah, but like it's just very fascinating. Little things like that feel discriminatory when you really look at it, you know. Anywho,
that is
Thank
very
you for
discriminatory.
It is.
Don't get her started, please.
That's crazy.
I think I will. I think I will. No. I was gonna ask you, Morgan, too. So I have a very rough relationship with physical fitness, right? And what is kind of like your and I kind of feel like, because I know that you cater to women in a very specific way too. What is your conversation to women who are resistant to stuff like that?
Well, let me ask you this, and then I'll also answer.
Please.
What do you mean? What's your issue with physical fitness?
I don't want to do
feel?
it.
Got it. So, that's what I was gathering.
So,
So
like,
make sure we're on the same page. I get it,
To give
and
a
I'll
little
explain.
more
I got
context,
you.
though, I like ease.
Got it.
That is where I feel most aligned, and sometimes I'll tell myself like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this, and I might even get interested in it for a while. But then as soon as I feel like it's not, it doesn't come easy anymore.
Yeah.
I just don't want to do it. So
Yeah.
I mean, I move. You know,
Yeah.
I take a lot of walks.
Yeah.
That's my physical
Yeah.
fitness, but I do look at my friends, and especially like Drippy and Michael are talking about like closing their rings and stuff, and I be like, damn, I should be doing stuff like, you know. And I know we need to take should out of our vocabulary, but like for someone who just has a resistance but does kind of have the desire, does have the interest, like how do you bridge that gap?
I think there's so many things. I tell people this all the time, and I tell people I'm not trying to tell y'all this so that I can be like the relatable fitness person. I genuinely have never in my entire life been that person that was super excited to wake up and go to the gym. Never been me, wasn't me. Low key, still not really me. I mean, just being honest. I had to find, but put the physical fitness aside, I had to find what I do like. What I do like is feeling confident in my body.
Yeah.
Right.
What I do like is going to the mall and finding an outfit that I love and not having to second guess, do I gotta roll it up more to hide? You know what I mean? Like I love feeling energized. I feel like a boss when I'm strong. Like I feel different. So I had to shift from the mindset of like, making this physical workout being so that I am a certain size or weight or have abs or this, but instead it's like, like I operate better in life when I feel good.
Yeah.
So then that's the first thing. So first you got to find why you actually are working out. Yeah. Because if it's just to lose a pound or get an ab or whatever.
Like that one ab.
It's just a one. Because you know
all I got is one.
Because look, it be the top one that'll peek out every now and then. If that's it, it's not going to be, that's not enough. So first you got to find like what that thing really is for you. And then you have to find your flow and your thing. And I think even for me, I'm I'm learning to not be this, but I'm an all in or nothing person.
Yeah.
So for me, if it's like, if I'm all in the gym, we waking up at 5 a.m. and 6 days a week, and we finna kill it. And I'm a sweat and I'm a burn. And if I don't cry when I'm done, it's like, it's just, that's not even realistic in life.
I just
Yeah.
got so tired hearing you say that.
You know? But it's not
sleepy.
even realistic. And let's be honest, like, it's not even realistic in our lives now.
No.
Like, we have jobs and lives and kids and
depression and
and
anxiety.
Oh, my
no,
guys,
I'm
wait.
tired.
It's true.
So you have to find. So for me, it's finding your flow
Yeah.
that can still feel. I don't want to say easy because then you're not challenging yourself, but it feels good for you in that day. So sometimes for me, physical workout is literally hitting the gym and putting whatever playlist in my head that makes me feel like a thug, and I go hard in the gym.
Hamilton.
What's the song?
Hamilton.
Oh,
Hamilton,
yeah.
the Broadway
yeah.
soundtrack.
I could do that.
Sometimes it's, like my
enough.
body just needs to like breathe. So maybe it's a yoga flow. It's
Yeah.
a meditation. Pilates is my new, baby, you think you are strong until you take a Pilates class.
Oh,
like,
see, that's why I didn't take that.
take it. It's good.
But
you
I
find
want to.
your flow. But you get my saying? So
Yeah,
you just
for
gotta,
sure, for sure.
You just got to find what works for
I
you.
like that because it sounds intuitive, and I think that that's something that I'm trying to incorporate more in my life. I'm trying to reincorporate presence into my life.
Yes.
I have recently become a ball of anxiety. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but one of the things that I know about anxiety is that it doesn't exist in the present.
No.
Like you're not,
No.
if you are anxious,
I was
you're
just
not
about to
where you
say
are.
that.
You're,
No.
you're simply not in the present moment that you're in.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I do want to incorporate is taking the time, being intentional with listening to myself.
Yes.
And when I do that, I do feel my best. And I think I just have to be okay with the fact that what I feel called to most of the time is stuff that is easier and lighter. And when I do it, that's still enough.
Yeah.
And I think I just struggle with that some days.
Yeah,
There
I
are
think
some
it's doing more of a
moments.
body of a check-in, like just how we
Yes,
started
exactly.
off today with a check-in. Like check in with yourself. Like, yeah, nah, I feel sluggish. This isn't right. Da da da. And then you gotta find that.
What do I need?
Shit, what do I need? And then you seek that out.
Right. And I think that's how walks for me are everything. It's not just physical. It's mental. It is spiritual.
Yep.
It is, I talk to trees and I need
Look,
to do that though. Like,
you gotta
for
put
real.
your feet in the grass when you can.
Exactly.
all the
So like
things.
that's like yesterday I was feeling really anxious and I just was like, you know what? I'm gonna just walk to the Whole Foods and get some grapes.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
and that is enough for me. But
Yeah.
I think that in those isolated moments, it feels really good. It feels
Right.
intentional.
Right.
But sometimes I'm just not being present, thinking
Yeah.
to myself like, oh, I should go back to Soul Cycle though, or I should go. You know what I'm saying? Like I should have this regimen.
And that's where you'll always stay trapped because you keep saying should.
Exactly.
We should do this. We should do that. We should. Who knows what the heck we should do?
Exactly.
Nobody knows. I
Literally.
will say though, having accountability
Yeah.
is extremely important, and knowing having accountability, either whether it be groups, couples, trio, whatever, and having inside of that accountability how to hold each other accountable. So for instance, I have a couple ladies right now that we're accountable to each other in workouts, because again, being transparent, I'm still not the person that wakes up in the morning. Y'all may see me work out in the morning, but if you saw my face before I got there, you would know the struggle.
Yeah.
But we do check-ins with each other, and the check-in is not, it's 5 o'clock,
Get
wake
on
up.
up.
It's a, how do you feel?
Right.
I love
And
that.
it's a genuine how do you feel, because if you're just tired because you're tired, you don't want to go, that's not good enough, we're going to go. If it's a, man, like last night, I didn't sleep well, blah, 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 you need more rest, okay, we'll give it a moment. So I think it's finding accountability, but accountability in the right way that's going to hold you to the fire, but also accountability enough to be like, okay, let's take a moment
have
and
some
let's do plan B instead of what our plan A was.
Got it. And are these people that you physically work out with as well?
Yes and no. So
Okay.
some are, some aren't, because schedule's on the line,
Period.
right? So one person specifically, shout out to Pat Rice, she's my morning workout person.
That's my girl.
No,
up,
I
Pat?
don't.
Oh,
But
well,
hi.
Yeah, I don't know, Pat.
I do.
Mike knows Pat is fine. That's my little patty cakes. But yeah, so we do work out together in the morning some days. But then there's other women that don't, and it's And that's where, like, you always see, like, the sweaty selfies. And sometimes that matters. Like, hey, I made it to the gym. That's my check-in. My check-in is, like, I got out of the car. Because sometimes that's the hardest part.
Right.
Yeah, you pull up and you be like
no. But you got out your car, you got in the building, and it means you're going to do something.
And then once you get started, it's
all
you got to do is start. That's
the
the thing that I've learned about everything. But I just let me not make this a therapy session. We'll talk offline. But no, I really do. I do love that, and I'm trying to just. I said earlier, I'm trying to stop trying and just being. And that and if I could give any advice, it sounds woo-woo, especially to people. I know that I'm in a certain level and certain stage, and I'm not saying that, like, not better, but I'm just at a certain stage with, like, certain practices, right? I've been meditating for years and years and years. I have gained a certain type of awareness. I'm very aware of my body. So when I say, like, what did I say? I lost it. Hey.
We're fine.
But yeah.
But you know what, too, I think is really important. I don't talk about this. I need to share this more. And this is, I didn't even realize this is, March is also National Eating Disorder Day, or month.
Oh,
I didn't
wow.
know that. And I don't share this, but I actually had an eating disorder.
Okay.
And so my extremes in physical and nutrition and all of that, it's real.
Yeah.
Because with anything, with any type of addiction, the extreme can get you one way or the other.
Yep.
So for me, because I battled with bulimia on and off for many years of my life, nobody had any idea because you can hide it. Nobody knows. I look good. I'm still smiling. I'm happy. Life is great, right? So when I say those check-ins, it matters because when you're in autopilot of certain things, you're not even aware. And that's what my life was like. It was just go, go, go. It was extreme high, it was extreme low. So now for me, finding that check-in point, it really matters. I just want to feel good. And if you just do on a daily basis of what feels good, you know you about to eat some food, and you know an hour later you're not about to feel good. You just know, you just know you're not, and you're going to choose to do it anyway, and that's cool.
I will,
and that's fine.
And I wouldn't know
every time,
and you know, like
every single time.
I'm not gonna feel good, but I'm gonna eat this pizza anyway, lactose intolerant or not, and I'm gonna eat it and I'm gonna enjoy it. And there's times when you choose otherwise. So I think really having that check-in, I think, is important.
I love that. And you know what's funny about that when it comes to, because I've talked about this with McGee a lot, because me and McGee always talk about we this sounds gross, but like we bond over like the mucus thing. When we eat cheese, it's like, oh, I can hear it in my voice, like, you know.
Immediately.
But one of the things that I had to be honest with myself about, because I think a lot of times we're taking in so much outer shit instead of what's going on in our actual body. So when people talk to me about like, oh, like eating that thing, it doesn't make me feel good, I genuinely 9 times out of 10 cannot relate to that. So people who are like, oh, I can't eat. Even like something like White Castle, where it's like unanimously, people are like, that shit is gonna have me on the toilet. I be like, I don't have that shit.
Give me a big sack.
God.
Chicken rings, please.
But that's the thing, and I had to be okay with like my body operates the way that my body operates, and like there are certain things, there are other things that I'm like, oh, I don't feel good because I live alone, and there are days, and when I was working from home full time, there were days where I was just like going from the couch to the bathroom. And like, 4 days have passed, and I'm like, damn, why do I feel like, why does my head hurt? Why am I so, and it's like, I know that my body needs that sort of, I need connection, I need to talk to people, I need to go outside, I need fresh air, like stuff like that.
All of it.
And I think that that's important too, that when you're having those check-ins, that you're tuning into your actual experience, and not this idea of like, oh, well, the fitness girl that I follow like doesn't eat that, so maybe I shouldn't eat that. No. Or like, oh, the fitness, they get up at 5, so maybe I need to get up. And not everybody is built
that way.
No.
I'm a 5 a.m. girl.
Yeah, there's a group of people like on social media, like the 5 a.m. people will check in where y'all at. Like, go to hell. Like, you're not superior because you're getting up at 5 a.m., baby.
And let's be honest, some people, I
it?
am a 5 a.m. person, but not because I want to. It's I'm up at 5 a.m. because
That's me
it's
too.
it's
same.
literally, it it doesn't happen there,
Right.
not
That's the
gonna
only
I
time
call
I got
it
to
like
do it.
my Jesus on the mountain moment. Like very few people need me before the hours of 7 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
So I can literally just give
it
and
to
do
yourself.
to me. So
Yep.
the
Yep.
up early isn't to be like, look at me, I'm up at 5. It's
Thank
like,
you.
No.
this
Thank
is
you.
my season.
I
That
need
it.
nobody's gonna call. Well, you shouldn't call me.
Don't.
Don't. You're on D&D.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think of my days too. My days are very bell curved. Like when I wake up in the morning, it's up, 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 and then it goes down. And I'm okay with that. I don't feel like, oh, like as a writer, like, oh, I gotta just be burning the midnight oil and just like, I'm not that type of bitch.
I love
like,
saying
I
love it so
Burning
much.
the
It's so
midnight oil.
stupid, like, especially in this voice, like burning the midnight oil. So dumb. But like for real, and I think there's radical acceptance that needs to happen for all of us in our individual experience and ourselves. Because I get up at 5. I love being up early because I like having things done by a certain time. I
Yes,
like
thank
looking
you
up.
for that.
I like looking at the clock and it say 9:05, and I'm like, damn,
Yeah,
I did
you got a lot of shit
everything.
done
Like,
already.
because then I also feel better because I know when it's nighttime, especially we live in Chicago.
Yeah.
It's
And in
dark
the-
at 3.
And in the wintertime, in these months, it's about to, we if y'all are watching this, we've already done the daylight
Thank
saving.
God. I'm so happy about it.
But we live in a place where in certain times of the year, it gets dark earlier.
Yes.
And I genuinely believe, it ain't for everybody. I'm not trying to preach to nobody, but like I like to liken myself to what's happening in nature.
Yeah.
So if the sun down, bitch, me too.
Yeah.
I'm also down. So
Yeah.
and I want it to stay that way.
Yeah.
I don't want to be on. I don't want to do too much unless it's social, unless it's leisurely.
Right.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah,
I don't.
yeah.
I don't. And that's just something that I've had to learn about myself. So it is really important that when you're doing these check-ins, be fucking for. That's the word of the day.
Yes.
Be fucking for
Be fucking for
FFR.
real. Like be
Yeah.
yourself.
And
Be
do
yourself.
do what
And-
feels good to you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's my flow.
exactly.
Like I do a mind dumping journal every morning to the
Ooh.
point where it's so
Wait, tell me about that.
mind dumping. So I similarly, I can deal with anxiety. I'm an overthinker. I carry a lot in this noggin of mine. Okay, it's all the time, like all the time. So I try to do it. I for sure do it in the morning.
Yeah.
I try to do it at night. I'll be honest. Sometimes I'm like,
Yeah.
lay your ass down to go to bed.
Yeah.
But so mind dumping is literally it's like pen to paper.
Yep.
Depending upon my time frame, I might set a timer, I might not, and literally I'm just writing everything that comes to my mind.
Yeah.
Whether it be something I gotta do, whether it be a thought, whether it be who made me mad, whether it be a feeling, whether it be whatever, anything that is in my head, I get it out of my head and I get it onto paper.
Yes.
So then once I go through and write out everything, I go back and what I can legibly write. My handwriting is awful, but anything
like
that's of
that.
importance, I'm like, okay, these clearly are high level priority things that are on my brain, and if I do not take care of them ASAP, the
Right.
rest of my day is going to be whatever. And it could be business, it could be a conversation with a person.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
if this thing keeps coming up and you still haven't dealt with it yet and it's still on your brain, that's taking up brain capacity that you're missing out on to be
Ooh.
productive in life, right?
Yeah.
Come on now.
So mind dumping for me to the point where like my team will be like, you ain't mind dump today, did you? No, I didn't. They're like, go take a moment because you need
Yeah.
it.
Go take a
And
moment.
honestly, I
I'm
try to
tell
do
you
it in the
that.
morning, but sometimes I need it midday.
Yeah.
Like when you get in that space where you're just like, everything is happening, all this is going, and all of that, get it out of your head, get it onto paper, and like that is my saving grace every morning.
I do
just
that with voice
adopted
memos
that.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
yes.
good with voice memos too. I have a partner. She does,
just crazy.
and she'll do often. Because again, I am blessed in this season right now. I take care of me
Yep.
and me.
Yep.
There are no kids. There is no husband. There's
Yeah.
not that. And I'm very grateful for that space right now
Yes.
because that may not be my always, but it's
Exactly.
my now. So
Yes.
I get to
Pour
own it,
into
live in
yourself.
it. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But I have a partner who she's got kids, she's got a husband, all these things. So although that seems ideal for you, Morgan, but that's not my life in the morning. Cool. So she
Yeah.
does it, she records it, while she's driving or on her thing or whatever. Like just get it
I
out.
didn't even think about that, but I do that when I go on walks. Especially sometimes I get on the train and just go downtown because
Yeah.
I like the I don't know. It's something about just
The hustle and
masses
bustle.
of people
Yeah.
around. It's something comforting about it, especially like on a Saturday when the tourists are out just walking around.
Yeah.
But that's something that I started doing. And I actually started doing it back when I used to get on the CTA. I would have my headphones in and I would pretend I was talking on the phone. But then I would actually be recording myself and just talking out loud because I talk to myself. But it's usually, I have the, what do they call it? Like the narrative thought. You remember on Twitter or on social media, like a few months back when people started realizing that not everybody sees images in their brains.
Yeah.
Like, that was like a whole thing. And I feel like I knew that, but I also was like, oh, okay, because I don't see images. And so, like, and I never thought about that because I've been meditating for so many years. And when I would try, like, visualization meditations, that used to be very difficult. I'm like, I don't
you can't
see
see it.
stuff.
Yeah.
But, like, sometimes I do. Like, I can, especially if it's, like, memory derived. Like, if it's a thing
I
that
see colors often.
see, I don't see stuff.
I don't
know what
see
I
images
see.
a lot.
I don't
Sometimes
see
I do.
stuff.
That's not true.
But,
I
like,
see a
now
lot.
I'm like,
I don't know what I see.
it's
I'm trying to
something that
think.
it's something that is developing though. Now
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It's very strange. But during that time on social media, I was like, oh, I just talk. My brain is just talking. It's just like narrative thought, and
You hear thing. Like
It's not even like a hearing, and that's the
Because if
thing.
you're hearing, then
our
that's
brain-
schizophrenia. I just want to
But
be.
like that's
We
it's
all need
so
to be
strange,
mindful.
'cause, like, and I can make it happen
It's
too, which I
standard.
know all of us could. Like if I told you right
Yeah.
now, like say in your mind,
Yeah,
I love,
for sure.
I love elephants. Like all of us could do that.
Right.
But like that's my brain 24/7. My
Yeah.
brain is just all
Yeah.
words, all thoughts.
Got
So I mean all narrative thoughts. So I don't know, something clicked one day and I was like, I don't ever do that out loud though. And also when you're having this conversation about what your internal monologue is, what your internal dialogue is, like what stories are you telling? Like what do you,
Yeah.
because we don't notice how much our beliefs shape our reality. I
1,000%.
100% believe that. And it's like, we don't even know what our beliefs are. But if you tune in and you hear yourself, especially when other people are talking, like someone comes to you and says, oh, I want to open a store. I want to open a da-da-da. And if my brain is like, oh, that's hard. That seems like hard work. It's like, why is that my belief? Why is it my belief that's different?
Yeah.
Like things like that. And I started to check in with myself. And I was better able to do that by talking out loud. And I've
Yeah.
never done that before. And I used to be like, that's bizarre, you know,
Yeah.
like to talk out loud to myself. But that's really hopeful.
Yeah.
And I think that's the same kind of thing as a brain dump.
Yes.
For
Yeah.
the most part, kind of
Yeah.
just getting that out.
Yeah.
What any other tips, tricks, techniques? Look, I'm taking notes.
Man, like what you want? I don't know why I'm looking.
I'm like,
What
I
you-
don't know.
what you done- Gosh, there's so many. It's interesting. I'm actually reading this book right now called it's called U Squared, but it's talking about making quantum leaps, right?
Ooh, I love that.
And I'm naturally not the big, even though it may not always seem like it, I'm not naturally the big risk taker. Like I was the person that was in school that like I was a great student, not because I was that smart. It was just the teacher gave you a syllabus. The teacher said you do this, and this, you're gonna get A.
Right.
So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna
Yeah,
get
I'm
an A.
so like
And
that.
then it's like that was like life. So then you do that to get to high school. You do that to get to college.
Yeah,
then you
that's true.
graduate
Yeah.
college, and then there's no playbook anymore.
Woo.
And so for me, that was such a scary
is
place to
nuts.
be in because it was like, but where is the playbook?
Like,
There's
yeah,
no.
I do,
I mean, I
yeah.
feel like that's with anything. Like whether you're a
That's
mom
so
or whether
real.
you're this, it's just like there is no playbook, and so you have to start to
Yikes.
trust.
We're all just like,
Yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Wow.
You start to have to trust you. So this book called U Square talks about making quantum leaps, and it talks about how, and it to your point, starting to be, and this is in fact this is a practice for all of us. Okay,
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Homework.
Right now.
start to get clear with like who and where you want your life to be. I mean, down to the detail. Like
That's
who
what-
is beside you? Where are you living? What does it feel like? What does it look like? What dollar to the T amount is in the bank? I have a friend of mine, you know, he's gonna see it. Shout out to Mike. He has this 10.2 ... in his head. And so it's like, but when you keep seeing the same numbers over again, so you start to put yourself in a position where you believe it, you see it, you feel and see that life so clearly that anything other than that is not even possible. So then it's called backward thinking for forward motion. So if you are here, like in this, you got to take some time with it. So if you're here in this life that you want, who you with, where you want to be, what it looks like, what it feels like, how you're vibing, your wealth, your status, your everything, that's that.
Yes.
Backward thinking for forward motion is we're actually here. but this is already done. So now that you see this so clearly, getting there is actually not so like, what am I supposed to do? Because you already see it. It's like having the GPS system. Like the GPS system, all you had to do was put in the final destination, and it's telling you where to get there. Now it may not be the perfect road to get there,
for sure,
but that's what you have to live now in. I already have the wealth. I already have the man. I already have the woman. I already have the things. And when you can start to operate that in your mind, it's easier to say yes and no to certain things because you're like, nope, that's not in the destination. Nope, that's not in alignment. Nope, you're wasting my time. Nope, that doesn't operate. It's not easy. It's a practice I'm working on a daily basis. But when you're in it, you can feel it. Like you can feel like, I'm already that person. Like I'm already owning my own thing.
I have to get to that point. I have to get to that point. That's definitely something that I'm working on. And so what I'm trying to shed and release myself from is the doubt and the fear of like, what if I'm wrong? Or like, what if I get that and I don't really want it? And
what if you're right?
Exactly. And I'm also trying to tell myself that I'm shifting into abundance in all things. Yeah. I have all the time in the world to figure it out. So once I reach that destination, I might say, oh, this not hitting like I thought it would. Pivot. That's what, and I'm happy that I'm in a space now because I can tell that I've grown, because before it was just stagnant energy. I'm not declaring anything. Like my therapist and I talked about that a lot. Like you don't declare shit. Like you don't say what you want. And I'm just like, because what if I don't want that? What if I don't know? What if I'm wrong? What if I'm like, what if it sucks? What if, or worse, what if I want it? What if, all right. But this is something that I express her too. What if I really want it and don't get it? Yeah. You know?
Yeah. Well,
How'd you get on my fucking nerves? How'd you get on my fucking nerves?
I didn't know you
That's still
start crying.
It's still not healed. But no, for real. And I think that, and honestly, like I can tell by the way that I'm activated. That's the biggest one. It's not the fear of getting it and being like, oh, maybe I didn't want that. It's like the fear of
going for
saying that I want something, believing that I want it, and like, because you know what it is, if it is always going to feel like it's just out of your grasp. You know?
I have to stop you right there, though, and say, because everything that you've ever said you wanted, you have. Like, you have to really, like, I can understand the fear of, like, what if I don't get it? But literally, you'll be like, right before you got in a relationship, you was like, I'm finna be like in love, and I was like, okay.
I did say that to you.
Yeah, and then you got a nigga
exactly.
like you really get everything that you want. So I need you. My homework for you.
Yeah, I love
for you to not be afraid that you won't get it, because even if it's not the way you thought it looked, it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be.
Or how it happened.
Yes, it's supposed to be like my grandmother always says, like, our life is already set, planned out, destined for us. We can do little things to alter it along the way, but what you see is yours, and you're gonna get it. What you want, your higher self has already achieved that. So when you see something, you're like, that's you want it because your higher self has already experienced it. So it's just a matter of what do you need to do to get to it, because you're gonna get it. It might not be like what you thought initially, but you're gonna get it. So I need you to not be afraid that you're not gonna get it, because you are gonna get it. It just might take a little longer. Like I was talking about patience, it might take a little longer. It might come in a different package, but the best gifts come in the most fucked up packages. I'm so serious. I'm so serious. The best gifts, you be like, damn, I done went through a lot, but look at me. Like,
because you know when you go to the Jamaican spot and you get like oxtail, and it's like, it's the
leaking
gravy is leaking out the bag.
Yeah, then you tear that bitch open. Ooh, the gravy be done soaked up the napkin and shit. Yeah,
it be fire though.
Yeah, it do.
Yeah, so you're absolutely right, and thank you for that, Aj. And I think
this is amazing.
I need to just. That's exactly what this. I feel like we're saying common for everything, but another theme here is exactly what we were talking about earlier about this community, like having people that see you when you don't, because it's hard for me to see that. A lot of times I'm just like, okay, just just be satisfied, just be where you are, just be okay, and like don't want for anything. And that's I know, and it's like for what, and also it's like for fucking what, you know, like do that why. So
and I think too, it's like again, I was talking about how like sometimes it feels like so out of reach. It feels like you just jumping out of an airplane with no parachute, hoping somebody, I don't know, maybe you land, maybe you don't. But like quantum leaps actually are not that. So like literally in science, when a particle makes a quantum leap, it literally goes from here to over there out of nowhere, and you didn't even know what happened. It was easy. Yes. Right? So I think sometimes we feel like the things that we have to go for has to feel like a struggle and a grind and a push and team no sleep and you got to do this and da-da-da.
That's what
a quantum leap.
I hated it.
A quantum leap is actually taking all of the gifts, the tools, the resources, the things that are already inside of you and around you. So that's another tip. You have to be willing to and know who to share your visions and your dreams with. Yes. Because not everybody can hold for it. But those that can, it's important because, shoot, you don't even know what I could do to help you. Exactly. Do you know what I'm saying? Or what you could do to help me or vice versa. But, like, if it's never put out there, you, start to question and doubt when you have way more tools and resources inside of you. Yes. You have way more tools and resources around you, so then all of a sudden we gonna look up and you did that thing and the rest of the world is gonna be like, oh my gosh, how did she do it? How did she do that? She must have been working so hard. And we were like, she had it all along, she just needed a little tap to get from here to there.
That tap.
And sometimes that's all you need.
And I'm all about utilizing resources. Like, I can't stand when people be like, oh, I don't want to like go out my way. I'm like, didn't your cousin used to braid hair for that man who lived across the street who was related to that dude who could get a job, who could give me a job at the place that I want to? Utilize your resources. Like people, I think a lot of people live in fear of utilizing resources because it looks like you don't have, like, it looks like you're begging. It looks like you don't have it together, but shit, nobody has it together. No, and it really hits me like, shout out to B, hey queen. When I see pictures of Beyonce like working for, videos. I'm sorry.
Yes,
videos.
Shout out to her.
What you thought
that
I
be?
said?
I don't know.
You thought I was about you?
No, I don't know.
I never call you B.
Hey Beyonce.
Oh yeah, sorry. Triggered.
Look, hey Beyonce.
But when I see her like doing like practicing for a show and she's like missing a step or not get, like, nobody gets it easily.
Yeah.
Right.
Viola Davis just did Woman King. She said this is the hardest I ever worked out for a role like this. You think that Denzel don't go to an acting coach still? Like, people have to put in work and still, like, no one is going to have it all together. So utilize your resources because, okay, if I don't have it all together, but I still make it, then this is my testimony. Yeah.
And I feel like you waste time. Like, why am I focusing in on trying to be stronger in my weaknesses when I can just be phenomenal in my strengths?
Yes.
And if your strength is social media, then why am I trying to figure that out when I could just be like, yo? And honestly, a lot of other countries still, the barter America is just
trash.
Warped.
America has a problem.
Barter system is like how a lot of things were ever created, period, in life. But now, and again, I'm also, let me double back in that. This is especially for my business people, my entrepreneurs, my everything. Yeah. I don't care if you started today. I don't care if you've been in the business 5 years, 10 years. Know your value and your worth so that if it's either one, if you are going to do some type of like barter, switch, whatever, make sure you know what you bring to the table with clarity and what they're bringing so it makes sense. Because free things, that's a whole nother podcast for it. But if you heard me, you get it.
Right.
But I just feel like we don't utilize each other enough. Yeah. And for many reasons. And I still have to check myself in that on a consistent basis, because sometimes it gives off this thing of like, well, I thought she had it together. Why does she need this? I thought she was already at a certain point. Why does she need that?
And that's outside heads too. That we're listening to.
And it's a lot of unlearning that needs to happen. And I check in with myself on that, even in this conversation, even in revealing to y'all where I am in that mindset and the fact that I'm still not there yet. Yeah. And there's just a lot of unlearning, and especially, I don't want to get on this, but like the Black community has a lot of unlearning to do. Yeah. And I'm not saying that like it's our fault or we're doing anything wrong or bad, but I want for the generations after us, especially the children, the babies that are coming up, I want for them, it's certain things that I feel like Black people, I feel like we've outgrown certain things as a community. Yeah. I can have grace for my mother and for her mother and for people, especially people that were and we're not far from enslavement. We're not far from that era. But people that were really close to it, there are certain things that we took from that, and it makes sense. I give grace to our ancestors and to our parents and to our grandparents for that. But it's time for us to shed some of that shit, you know?
Sure.
Like, I don't want the kids in my life to feel like they have to struggle for things. And to feel like the things that they get, they don't deserve because they didn't struggle. That's something that I got bad, y'all. Like, being in positions, working at jobs for damn near 10 years, and I have, as a joke, but then when you think about it, like, why would you say that? My bio on Instagram for the longest time said corporate finesser. Because it was like, I don't know how I got in this corporate office. I don't know why they would give me this job. And it's just like, well, girl, because you earned it. And you know what the fuck you're doing. And I don't, and because it came easy to me, because I'm good,
hard worker.
I'm great with communication, and I can talk well with people and make people comfortable and make people want to give me projects and things like that. Because that was easy to me. I was brought up in a world that taught me that because it was easy, it's not worth anything, or it's not real, or it's not, you can't keep it. It's not really yours. It's not sustainable. And I want better for the kids that are coming up in us, because I do, like we was talking about before, Erykah Badu hit the fucking nail on the head when she was talking about ease and allowing yourself to thrive in the places that are already easy. Why not capitalize on the thing that already comes easy to you? And when you think of it, it's like, duh. Like, why are we telling kids, like, oh, the pathway are these things? You're either a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, or you an athlete, or you're an entertainer, and that's it. And it's just like, no, some kids are very much more talented and interested, even at that. And I really want us to allow children to lead, not to be talking, I don't know why I'm getting on kids, but I think that's important. Like, kids need to be able to lead. Like, when we look at a kid as they grow, and we see, like, oh, this person, they're interested in this, or he asked for this, let them do those things. You know, because I just want ease for everybody.
And my parents are like literally the best humans ever. Like, I tell people all the time, like, I'm so grateful. I look at who I am now, and it's so much because of the things that they put in me. And I was the child from probably at age 5 that always did everything. Like, I was in every sport, every club, cheerleading, this, that, blah, blah, blah. I have no idea how they allowed my brother and I to do all that and still do them and be them and all of that. But at the same time, I think that also put a mentality in me of there's a difference between, like, struggle and grind and creating good work ethic habits where, like, you know how to show up and be professional and be on time and really go after the things that you want. So it's like, there wasn't a laziness, but there was like, sure, Morgan, you can do this, and this. But the minute you can't be all of those things with excellence, then something's got to shift. Or sure, you can try all these things, but you really have to go after it. And I'm so grateful that they gave me that platform, because now people look, I was talking to a friend and he was like, I feel like you've already done, it's only 9 o'clock and you've probably done 40 things already, blah, blah, blah. Aren't you tired? And I said, honestly, you're right. I did. And it didn't feel like that because I've been operating in that for so long, but in a good space. And it didn't feel like pain and strife and struggle. And not that you're not going to have hard times, but like, when you're operating in your flow, it just feels different.
And that's what we need to check in. That's where we need to check in. I was even in our relationships, we get taught this thing that relationships are hard work and and it's just like, why? Like, why is that? Like the fact that we've been saying that for years and years and years, and nobody was like, but how come? Like, why does it have to be? Not to say that there won't be growing pains, not to say there won't be shifts, you know. And that's what all relationships. You know what
I
I'm saying?
hate the term ride or die. Why do I have to die?
I'm not riding or dying.
We riding and thriving.
Yeah,
okay. We are riding and we are growing. We are riding and expanding. We are riding and getting to the money. We are riding
for 7 minutes at a time. Because,
you can go a little longer.
Like,
Come on.
I'm tired.
It don't need to be that. Like, why can't we?
If you're not satisfied after 7 minutes,
you're right.
Get somebody else to do it.
Okay, don't put that out there.
Okay, and see, it can be a joyride. Why I gotta be?
No, I agreed. But no, for real, like, that's the thing, and I think that there's something people, and that might be a whole nother episode about our language, the way people don't understand that like we create like these omens with the ways that we speak, and like when we glamorize, and I hate saying glamorize because I feel like people say that and it's just like, girl, shut the fuck up. Like if that's the thing, if that's what the girls are into right now, whatever. But you know what I'm saying? Like we glorify like ride or die. We glorify. I used to hate the word loyalty. Like when I was like dating, like on dating apps and stuff, and like I asked a nigga what they was looking for, and they said loyal.
A queen.
I said you want. No, for real. Like every time they said they want somebody to be loyal, I used to be like, "Get me off this bus. I don't like it because you want a dog." That's how I used to feel. Like that's what people talk about. Dogs are the most loyal pet to have, but think about how we get to treat dogs. Like the way, like you can leave the house all day.
You gotta train them.
The dog can't text. You can't tell the dog don't know if you coming back, when you coming back. But when you get to that door, the dog is at the door, excited that you're there, happy, don't care what happened in between. That shit dead. That's good for that dog, but that's not me.
That's real.
So and there's a connotation that I think that we have to certain words where we just have to. I think we just need some check-in time with the way that we talk, the way that we talk to people, the way that we advise, especially when we're talking about younger people. I can't stress this enough. Children, when we're advising children on. You know, they don't know what their values are yet, or they haven't defined their values yet, and they're looking to us to give them that language. And when we're telling them, like, it's in grit and hard work, and it's just like, damn, when do I get to, you know, just... Nepotism is fine.
Yes.
Hashtag black nepotism. Yes. Like, why would I... And that's the thing. That's every time I tell my therapist this, and my therapist is someone who is... I love
nepotism
her.
Baby.
No, she's very she matches my woo woo, but she's also like a very practical person. And one of the things that I talked to her about, because she was trying to just talk me back from the idea of feeling like financially responsible for my people. And I tell her, like, when I want to call in wealth, I'm not thinking about for me. I am like, I want to do nice shit and you know, wear nice clothes and stuff, but I'm thinking about the people around. Like, what can wealth for myself create for the people around me? And me and her had to have a conversation because she had to make sure I was being fucking for real. Because at the time, if I'm working at a job and I'm, you know, looking at a job to make $70K or something, she's like, girl, you can't retire your mom with like making, and I'm like, no, that's not what I mean. I'm talking about like past this, like bigger stuff. And I do want to be able to do shit like that. And I do agree, nepotism is fucking fine. Like, and that's another conversation. But yeah, I want that for our kids. I really do. I want our kids to not feel like there has to be a balance, sure, because there needs to be a certain appreciation and a gratitude and things like that. I get that. But I don't want anybody to feel, I hate when I see people, especially black people, have gained something. And that's the thing. That's how you know when people are still in survival mode and they're still experiencing a scarcity mindset where it's like, I had to. And the people who are angry about the cancellation of student loans. Imagine people who have already paid their student loans off being like, well, I had to pay mine off, so you should too. Like, why would you want that for somebody?
People really have an issue with, like, other people just, like you said, getting things naturally. Like, sometimes I'll talk to my coworkers and I'll be like, you know, saying stuff, and I'll be like, well, that's not right. And they'll be like, ugh, I bet you were spoiled. And I'll be like, I was like, you know, taken care of. Like, that doesn't mean I'm not a hard worker. That doesn't mean I don't deserve the things that I have. But I was fortunate. And you're mad because I was like,
100%. You know, my dad grew up in the projects of DC. Okay. So for him, having a family and being able to give his children things that he wasn't able to have, that actually for him was not only like a joy and a gift in a way to celebrate what he created, but then that again is we talk about quantum leaps. That's a way where now I'm going to be the next generation that now has a different quantum leap because of the leaps that he has been able to do in a different way. And so I hate the word spoiled because it's not being spoiled. It's like, look, it gets to come with responsibilities. It gets to come with different things. But if you have the ability to be able to set someone up a little bit different so that you don't have to, now they're going to be leaps ahead to then put
pay it forward.
And it just continues on. So I'm with it.
Yeah, I definitely, I resent the word spoiled so much. And
Baby,
because it's people on my dad's side, which, you know, no shade. I was a fatherless child, so I'll be looking at them like, pardon? Like, excuse me? Like, don't be fucking talking about my being well taken care of as being spoiled. Because when people say spoiled, they think of people who just feel entitled to stuff.
Yeah.
And my question
Bratty
is, what's wrong
almost.
with that?
Yeah.
Like, what is wrong with me walking into a room and feeling like I deserve a seat?
Yeah.
Like, what is wrong with me walking into a space and feeling like I deserve the best that this space has to offer?
Yeah.
Why is that bad?
Yeah,
Like,
because I bet you white people don't get the like, well, what did you do to get here conversation.
say
No,
that.
they're not having that conversation. It's who do you know? Like, how did you walk? Like, you know, like,
and that's 1,000% acceptable.
Yes,
you know?
But that's
Exactly.
also life. It really,
Yeah.
life
Yeah.
and business, and especially corporate America, oftentimes it is a, who do you know? What is your network? Da da da.
and nothing wrong with that either.
And
Nothing
that's
wrong
what I'm
with
saying.
it.
So, and my
Right.
point is, it all works.
Because I want to
together.
be the person that somebody knows.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know
I
what
love
I'm
to
saying?
be.
Like-
So you come on. You want to? Come on. You
Period.
can start
That's what I'm
tomorrow.
saying.
Yeah.
And it has to, and I think that there needs to be transparency, and there needs to be an amount of like preparedness.
Yes.
Like the people coming under me, my younger siblings and stuff. I'm not that old, but I'm of a certain generation, and these kids, because I used to work at a place and I used to interview a lot of teenage. These kids don't have interview skills anymore,
Yeah.
and
they have these.
they're not teaching the kids cursive no more.
They're not teaching them how to write. Period. They don't even teach them
Right?
basic printing skills.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
One,
insane.
so I work with insurance companies a lot, and they don't like us to like teach the kids academic skills, but they need academic skills. Like they want us to
sense does
teach
that make?
social skills, but you need academic skills
For sure.
in order to be social. Like you have to know how to sit in a dang on desk.
especially
Yeah.
because people don't like the world is still too diverse, and I think that like we still have people from the old school who are in charge, and so
For sure.
Yes.
For sure.
we're setting our kids up for failure,
Yeah.
putting them into the world with
Yeah.
where somebody who's the CEO or whatever can look at them like, oh, they have no couth, they have no
Yeah.
da da da,
Yeah.
and that's what I mean. And like one of the things that I took pride in when I was in HR at a certain place, I made sure I gave a call to everybody because I knew that there were white folks in the space who would look at Shaquita's resume and just be like, no, and just assume. And really, it was the fucking Bradley and the Chads that I would be looking them dead in their fucking face and being like, hi, are you here? We're having a conversation. I asked you, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And so it's like those types of things. And I just want to make sure while we're talking about paying it forward and being the person that people know, that we also prepare. I want them kids to be prepared. I can't believe, I knew about the cursive. I can't believe the writing,
Yeah,
just
I
taking it
know either.
away.
They don't teach them.
Because why? Because
Guys, don't get me started about how we need to restructure the educational system
Yes.
because the educational system, most people don't even know, was built during the factory. They started the educational system during the factory time so that people just wouldn't keep getting hurt in the factory industry. So with that being said, if you are only teaching so that I don't get hurt,
to a certain
what are we doing? Like,
Yeah.
so why are you not teaching for like knowledge and to
Yep.
retain information? Do not get me started
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
public education
These kids
system.
need.
guys.
These kids. We can. I would love.
That's a whole-
AjaNoAsia.
that's a good-
That's
I
a
would
good
love. Yeah, I was about to say,
episode.
I would
Yeah,
love
that's
for you
good.
to
We'll see you
come
back
back.
soon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would love for you to come back and talk about that.
That's really good.
But yeah, we didn't went. We didn't
Yeah,
went.
child,
all-
we- yeah.
We didn't went.
we
all
we
around.
been we done
I
been
done
to
cried.
China.
Morgan will be back soon. 'Cause We
Jamaica.
have
Yeah,
more
I
to do.
said so much. I done cried.
There's
We done had.
there's a lot of podcasts in a podcast.
It's
Yeah.
a lot. It's a lot. And honestly, these types of things, I will say to you, and I should have said this last week to Nikki Rouge as well. Like, it's these types of conversations that I exhale after, because I'm like, okay, I have not been very creative lately, and I've been feeling like a little bit of a creative slump, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But on the flip side of that, I do desire to create things of substance.
Yeah.
And I know that substantive things can vary.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is enough that you just have something on in the background that you can laugh to, and you hear
Yeah.
people joking, and but I've been really craving, like, for myself, and maybe just to validate myself, like having conversations like these that I feel like somebody on the other end is like, "Ooh, I need somebody to
Yes.
say that."
Yeah.
I really needed to hear that, or "Oh, I really agree with that," and so I want to. I say that to thank you and AjaNoAsia. I
Thank
really
you,
appreciate
guys.
y'all
Beautiful.
bringing this energy and opening it up, open the floor up the way that we have to have these
Yes.
conversations, and I think it's really important.
And
I'm
thank you for
excited.
your vulnerability, because I
Aw.
think sometimes
It can be housed here.
He's like, I'm a thug, you know, whatever. Like we hold it in, we box it in, but like we have to release.
We gotta
like
get it out.
we
I
gotta
have to.
release in all ways and all things. So
Yes.
I think when you see somebody else do it, you're like, okay, I can cry too. It's
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And that makes me feel good. Because
Yeah.
I know if you know, you know. If you watch this every week, you're like, Bree, again, how many times?
They love
cool.
it.
It's okay, but you gotta let it out.
They love
But yeah,
it.
I gotta get it out because I don't, whatever. But I appreciate
start
y'all.
crying again.
I know, just keep going with it. No, but I really do appreciate y'all. This was what's up?
I was just gonna say that I was really nervous to come on here because last time cancel culture wasn't a big thing, and I just didn't want to. I don't want to get
It
canceled.
sure wasn't. No, you want to know something funny? No, Aja, honestly, I think about that frequently. I think to myself, like,
That's
And
I
I
think that's
don't.
the
And I
thing about
don't.
putting out
when
content.
this gets to the point where we all know it's going, where it's
Right.
like massive, I'm like, somebody's gonna dig deep, and I know I said something.
oh yeah, I'm
You
And
know?
but that's the human
Yeah.
experience. So
And
fuck
that's
them
what it
and
is.
that.
Yeah.
We need to probably have a conversation about that too. So
I
many
need to
things
just
talk
delete
about.
my old Twitter because I don't think I said anything on
I
there.
did.
But
I did the sweep. You know, I
Type in a keyword and then
yeah, I
see what you
typed
said.
in like all the buzzwords,
Yeah,
and I'm
definitely.
like,
I've done that
I'm gonna do
too.
that too.
That's
I've
good.
done that, and
I'ma
I,
delete 'em.
because y'all know I've always been too woke to like for my own good for the most
It's
part,
okay,
you know.
though.
But that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Like, so it ain't nothing on there that's like, wow, she used to say
Right.
say FAG, like just be wildin'. Like I never. Was
We've
doing
never
nothing
been
like
those
that.
people.
You know what I'm saying? But there are things, you know. So yeah, my main thing is like, damn, because when we used to do like topics and stuff, like media topics, it's like, what if I meet somebody and they be like, yeah, I actually saw a clip about you talking and shit about me, like
Yeah, like 19 years ago, girl, get over it.
Like
Yeah.
Michael B. Jordan and whatchamacallit? He's gonna be like Michael B. Jordan and old girl from Love and Hip Hop. He's like the corny guy, right?
yeah.
Oh,
My
yeah.
man had
like,
to stick up for himself, whatever. She was a
I
little
wasn't-
bully.
I wish he would have just. You know
I wish
what?
he wouldn't have acknowledged it at
I
all.
wish
Yeah,
when she
do.
said we go way back, I wish he would have been like, do we?
Yeah, and
You would
just
have been
kept
like,
it
oh, I
pushing.
don't recall.
Yeah.
But you, beautiful shoes.
Yeah.
And just kept walking.
Beautiful gown.
But anywho, look, we're not getting into that.
No.
No, but again, thank y'all so much.
Thank
And
you
as
guys.
always-
Beautiful
Thank
episode.
you.
So
No,
glad you
it's
guys came.
so good. Morgan, please
you.
tell the people where they can find you for your
Yes,
services
you
and
can actually
otherwise.
now finally find me because my social media was hacked. Shout out to the hackers of
Oh,
social media. It's an
wow.
awful
Shit.
thing.
Yeah,
But no, don't do it. Instagram Morgan Nicole Martin _. You also can see all of our programming, workshops, gym classes. We get it in, all that good stuff
For the lab.
at that lab at WeLiveAndBelieve.com. And
Yes.
coming very, very soon, dropping in May on my birthday. Shout out May 5th.
Ooh.
I've got a new website, MorganNicoleMartin.com, for all the
Ooh, very
shenanigans.
exciting.
I'm nervous even saying this out loud because
all
it's
right.
been my baby for a while.
So
It's easy
exciting.
doing things with everybody else, but when it's your name,
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah. So
Right.
sad.
I totally
yeah.
get it.
I
So
love
that's
that. AjaNoAsia, Fat Pussy Princess on OnlyFans.
No, just kidding. I don't know if I want y'all to follow me.
Okay,
No, I'm
good.
just kidding. No, I'm AjaNoAsia everywhere. I'm
Everywhere.
AjaNoAsia in real
Everywhere.
life, on TikTok. And I don't have Instagram, but Twitter.
I don't want to see this no more.
I don't have Instagram.
You never get no Instagram again?
I don't know. So this, that's a whole nother story. But I am okay with it being off of it right now. It
Yeah,
doesn't feel.
definitely.
It goes back to that ease. It doesn't feel
Yep.
easy
And there
being
you
on
go.
Instagram right
And say
now.
less.
Ooh, say that.
It's,
There you go.
it's very toxic. It doesn't bring me joy.
joy.
But TikTok,
Baby,
I
never
love
letting it go.
TikTok.
We
and
love
it
to be
never-
entertained.
And
That's
I know, and I
entertainment.
gotta-
It's constant, like it's a high and low, like of emotions, but they're
Yes,
at the
it's
end. I
all
always feel
positive.
good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And for a message for Congress, if you try to ban TikTok here in the States,
Tomorrow in
don't
these
fucking
states?
play with me.
Yeah, I hope
Don't
that.
I don't
would
get
be
involved.
So
I be letting y'all,
sad.
I don't
would
get
move.
involved. I be letting y'all cook. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if you do
Lord.
that shit,
Activism, here we come.
Yeah.
that shit is over with. Okay, well, thank y'all
Pretty
so
much.
much.
Yes,
Please
you.
continue to do all the things that you've always done. If you are on YouTube right now and you have watched up to this point, please comment what color you think AjaNoAsia's panties are.
Okay.
If you are looking at this,
If
I
I have
have
any
any
It's
on,
about if she has any on.
not you got on jeans.
You said panties.
I know, but do you have on jeans right now?
Yeah.
That would be so nasty if you didn't have on panties.
Why?
People go commando in jeans?
Yeah. This ain't jeans from the 90s. Like, these are Fashion Nova jeans. Jeans from the 90s were like
They're
rougher.
like leggings. They're like leggings.
They were rougher in the 90s. They're like Lee jeans. Lee jeans are harsh. This is fashion.
Levi.
Yeah, Lee, like Lee, L-E-E.
Yeah, I
Those
remember
and
those.
Levi's
They used to have those in
are
Kai.
like real denim. Like, these are not. These are just stretchy. This has like spandex in the
Polyester.
denim. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So,
Okay,
yeah, it's
well,
different.
please continue to do all the things
You
you've
always
always
wanna
done.
wrap me
Follow
up,
us
bitch.
where we can be
No.
followed at Away with Words, the podcast on Instagram and on TikTok and at Bree.stories on Instagram and at Bree_stories on Twitter. If I ever get back on either of those things, love you so much. Please bear with me. And you can follow at Tati on Instagram and at Hey Tati on Twitter. And y'all know by now that you should be following at MJMKid and at Moments_Stu because you just should. It's also graduation and prom season, so
Yeah.
get in where you fit in. If you
Mommy.
want your pictures taken, and also follow at Please Be Easy because Please Be Easy. We love y'all so much, and we'll see you next week in April.
Bye.
Everybody say bye.
Bye.